Good afternoon. My name is William Zerson. I'm a colonel retired from the Air Force, and this is a story about being in Vietnam. I was a navigator on C-130 aircraft, and in 1968 or 69, I can't remember the year anymore, we were deployed from Taiwan into Tuy Hoa Air Base on the coast in Vietnam. That was one of the 4 or 5 different bases that we would deploy to. And had a good time in Vietnam, not a great time in Vietnam, but a good time at Tuy Hoa. Typically, we'd always come back from our mission, 5, 6 in the evening, and have a decent night there. But one night at about 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, the whistle was blown on Tuy Hoa to tell everybody that there were sappers that were breaking in through the fence on the other side of the airfield. Now, the Republic of Korea, the ROKs, guarded Tuy Hoa. And so the ROKs went after everybody that was there. What we had to do is we had to get out of all of our sleeping quarters and go down into a confined area, actually on the beach, where we had all of our crews all of a sudden. But anyway, the sappers came in. They did their job. They blew up some airplanes. They tore up some other things. But at the same time, the ROKs caught and killed 7 sappers. The ROKs, as I understand it, never ever took prisoners. So the next morning, we obviously couldn't fly until we checked out all of our airplanes. And so we got in a vehicle from our quarters, went out to where the airplanes were to check them all out, and yet we drove down one of these taxiways. And what do we find? But we find 7 bodies lined up on the taxiway, the 7 people that had been killed from the night before. And so we stopped and looked at them. And lo and behold, one of those men that were there on the taxiway and dead had been giving me a haircut the day before in the barber shop. And he had a straight razor against my neck, shaving me. And needless to say, I was not too interested in ever again getting a haircut in Vietnam, and I always waited until I got back to Taiwan. But one of the neat things, interesting things about it was that the big hooch that we had to go to down by the beach, here we had 12 crews, about, 40, 50 men. We had no weapons with us, and it could have taken a sapper and a little old paddle boat to come up on the beach, run into that place with an AK-47, and they could have killed 10 to 12 C-130 crews. And just praise the Lord that didn't happen. Something they probably never even thought about. So anyway, that's one of the stories that I have about Vietnam, and I have another also. So anyway, I thank you for listening. My name again, Bill Zerson, retired Air Force Colonel.